Hi, in this video I want to show you how I believe it's possible that I or any of you can make $2 million a month or more from using the Simple Fast Cash program. I personally have this goal that I am going to raise $2 million per month for the charities that I want to contribute to. So what I want to do is I want to just enter that figure in this spreadsheet, and then we'll see how I can arrive at that. Now, for me to get $2 million that I'm able to give to charity, I actually need to make more than that, because I always give 10% off the top of anything I earn as a tithe to another organisation. It doesn't matter what it is. You probably tithe as well. I hope you do. It's one of the essentials of making money. You may want to give it to a charity, you may want to give it to a church, an organisation, whatever it is. It's something that you do no matter how little or how much you make, and it helps you to develop a freedom from the pressures of money. It helps you create an aura of abundance by giving. It doesn't matter if you've only got a crust of bread. Break a tenth of it off and give it to the birds. It's important because it breaks this attachment to money, and it allows money to flow freely from you and also into your life. And you'll find that most people, or all people that I know or have heard of, that adopt this philosophy and give away 10% of their income actually have never looked back since they started doing it. They've created abundance above and beyond what they had before. So I need that. Now I also need 10% as a minimum to put back into my business. At the start of a business, I always invest 100% of everything I make back into that business. And as the business grows and develops, I get that down to about 20%. And 20% is a norm that I feel you should be reinvesting in your business. But when we get to the level that I'm going to be talking about here, I feel that 10% is going to be sufficient. And so if we add those back in, what I actually need to make is something like $2,600,000, and that is my goal for income. 10% of that is 260,000, and 260,000 tithe and reinvest. So what that does is that leaves me with, if we put in a little formula here, this amount minus this amount minus this amount, and that leaves me with just over $2 million a month to play with. I hope that I'll be able to deliver that whole sum of $2,080,000 to charity every month. So that's my goal, to exceed $2 million per month for charity. Let's just make that into dollars to make it a bit clearer. Oops, we've got pounds there. Dollars. Okay, so how am I going to set about doing this? Well, to do this, let's first understand the pay plan. And if you've not seen the video on the pay plan, you need to go all the way through it. And as you get to the 19th part, the 19th slide in the pay plan, you'll come to this adding up the steps, and this is for the first 4 people in your pay line, because after this it changes and changes a little bit. But what we have is, from the Simple Fast Cash plan, we actually have these 4 incomes that will come from the Simple Fast Cash plan. Oops. Let's put that back where it was. What I want to do is just copy those figures, because that is the start of what I'm going to make. And we go back to the spreadsheet, and let's put those in over here. And there we go. And then if we add those up, we total those up. This is from just 4 people. We total those figures up. There we go. And that'll give me $3,716 dollars. But also, there is a possibility of making quite a sizable chunk of cash from the Empower network. However, this is outside the Simple Fast Cash plan, and I can't guarantee that all these people are going to be in my pay line in Empower network. So what I want to do is I want to play on the safe side and say that I'm only going to make 10% of this income here. So instead of putting in $29,000, I'm going to put in $2,925 for that. So if we go back to the spreadsheet, I'm going to add in 2,925. Okay, so that's what I'm going to make from that, and then that will be in total from those first 4 people this amount plus this amount. So from 4 people, I think I'm fairly safe in saying that I'm going to make $6,641. And of course, all this is dollars. We make all this dollars. And that's going to leave me still needing this amount less this amount. So I'm still a long way from my goal, but I'm on the way. I'm on the way. Look at we've only introduced 4 people into the business. We've only got 4 people in my pay line to achieve this $6,000 a month. Okay. So now let's move on to the next slide, because this is the potential value of every additional sale, every additional person that comes into my pay line. So what this is worth is these items, and once again I'm only going to take 10% of this 27,000 because I don't know, I can't guarantee that all these people are going to be in my pay line in Empower Network. They may be, but the chances are that some of them won't be, and I think 10% is a very low sort of thing to figure to take from this, and I want to be on the low side so that if I'm making more, that's great. It just means that we're going to help more people. So what I'm going to do first of all is I'm going to take these figures like we did before and see what each person is worth to me. We go back to the spreadsheet, we put those in here, and that's what those are, and we're going to add those up as we did before. So each additional person is going to be worth $3,408 from the Simple Fast Cash program, and then I'm going to add another $2,700 in, only 10% of this figure. I mean, it might be that sometimes it'll be 27,000, but once again, I say I want to err on the side of caution so that I know I'm shooting for something that I can achieve. So 2,700 is what I'm going to add in here, rather than 27,000. And I'm going to add those up. So I'm going to add that to that. And that means that each additional person that I introduce is going to be worth $6,108 or more to me. Now I've got to make this amount of money. So what I want to know is how many people do I need to introduce? So if we take this figure, so if we do a little calculation here, we take that figure and we divide it by this figure for the extra people I'm going to introduce, and we see what that produces. And we've got that showing us dollars, which it isn't, it's just an ordinary number. So there we go. So I need to introduce 4 people for this and 340 people to make up the balance of this figure. So in total, I need to introduce 344 people. This plus this. And if I introduce 344 people, I stand a very, very, very powerful chance of making more than this 2,600,000, and it's going to leave me with this figure here. No, I've worked that out incorrectly, haven't I? My apologies. This figure here we need to put back to the 2,600,000. Okay. That gives me that. That's 424. So we put 425 in there. And then that would be 429. So I've got to introduce 429 people to reach this goal of 2,600 or more in gross income, which will allow me then to provide my charities with over $2 million a month. So 429 people. Sounds a tall order, but I've got 12 months in the year. I've got 52 weeks in a year. So if we take that 52 weeks and we divide that into that number of people. Here we go. We take that and we divide it by that. I've got to find just over 8 people a week. That's a little bit more manageable. We're looking at just over 1 person a day. So if I set out to introduce just over 1 person a day, 8 or 9 people a week, within a year I should be able to give $2 million or more to charity. Now, you may think that 8 people a week is a tall order. I personally don't. I think it will be easy to get 8 people a week for this program. All they're doing is spending $5 a month for an amazing opportunity, not forgetting that they're getting hosting, training and lots of other benefits, advertising, all sorts of things for that money. Plus this amazing, incredible opportunity. So I don't think that's going to be difficult. But even if I did think it was difficult, provided that is my focus is to get at least one sale a day. At least one sale a day, and I focus on that, and I make that my main focus for 365 days, 1 year. Do you think that perhaps at the end of those 365 days I'll have got better at doing this than I am now when I start? Now when I start, I've no knowledge at all of promoting this program. I don't know what works best. I don't know what I'll find is the best way of doing things. I'm starting from scratch. It's a brand new program. Okay, I've got ideas of what's worked with other things in the past, and I can use those to help me get started. But literally speaking, I'm starting from scratch with a brand new program nobody's ever heard of, and I've got to find the best ways of promoting this. And if I concentrate on doing that for 365 days, my main focus being to get at least one person a day, 2 people some days, so that I've got over 8 people coming in on average every week, do you think at the end of a year I'm going to be good at recruiting people for this program? I know that with 100% effort every day for a year at doing this, I'm going to be very, very good at recruiting members and people into this opportunity and selling this product. And that is what this is all about, because if I can only make 5 or 6 sales a month, perhaps in my first month, I can make maybe 10, 20, 30 in my second month. I can make 30, 40 or 50 in my third month. As I get better, at the end of 365 days working on this being my main focus, I know that I can probably bring in 8, 10, 20 people in a day, not just in a month. And that is what this is about. And all I've got to do is introduce 425 people over the course of the next 12 months, and I'll be able to give over $2 million a month to my chosen charities and save thousands of children's lives. And that is powerful, and that is the power of this simple fast cash plan. And I hope you bear that in mind, take it to heart, and do what you need to do to make these changes in your life and make this plan work for you. God bless.